Hello and welcome to Flory Models Friday catch-up show. Here we are with you on the 12th of May 2023. Busy old week this week. Obviously it's another bit of a funny one because we had another bank holiday, so there was no work done Monday, but I did obviously put up part 8 of this one. But I've been this week really pushing on with getting the dozer done. It's technically done now. I'll have a proper look at that a little bit later on. And then obviously during the live shows I've been working on this little gem, which is obviously the Hobby Boss new Hurricane. And yeah, there's a few little teething problems with this one to say. I'm not sure if they're 100% me or the kit, but basically just down in here, if I take that off because it's a loose bit, we had a little bit of an issue around the doors, and I'm not sure it's just me over sanding them when I did the cleanup, but they did seem to be a little bit gappy, so I've had to pop in a little bit of filler just down in there. Generally though, the rest of the fit, it went together very, very nicely, no problem at all. And seeing as we've now been given the full details on the Armour Hobbies 48 scale one, which I'm going to have to build because I just want to know what that one's like. Yeah, I'm going to be doing Hurricanes for the next couple of months at this rate. But anyway, as you can see, looking nice. There is a couple of little things like the canopy. As we all know, the Hurricane has this situation where it's got a flex in the canopy for when it's open and closed. Obviously, that doesn't particularly work very well with acrylic, because you'll crack it. So when you have it forward, it's no problem at all. But when you move to the rear, it's got a little bit of bounce in here and stuff like that. One of the highlights for me, though, whilst we're showing it here, is this. So this is obviously the masking set. First time we've seen it. It's like a paper. I described it like wallpaper when we did doing the live show with this one. But anyway, they do go on. They are a beautifully die-cut job, and they fit perfectly. So no problems at all with that one. You see, when we're slid in there like that, we are good to go. So if this is the new way of doing it with obviously with Hobby Boss, with all their new kits coming out with mask sets, I'll be very happy because it saves just going out and to get one. And again, when I've often said, if you're doing a military one and it's maybe got, 4 or 5, it's not so bad because they're quite big and you can put them in and cut around them and so forth and so on. But when you're dealing with World War II and like framework everywhere, a mask set, I think it's an absolute must. It just saves so much hassle when you get a far crisper, neater finish with it for relatively not much money at all. But now it's coming in the kits. I think it's absolutely great. But anyway, it has been a nice kit. The rest of it, build-wise, has gone together, no problems whatsoever. Just that little thing on the canopy is wrong. And again, I know I've got to put the little post at the back for the aerial on the back when we get that far. But when we're on next Thursday for the live show, which you can join in and watch us with, obviously we're going to be doing it into primer, then we'll be getting it into paint. We're going to use their decals as well, right the way through to see how this kit actually goes together. So have been having a lot of fun with this one. This particular build is part of the free show, so you can watch those. It's when we do the live shows. Normally it's every Tuesday, but obviously there's not one coming up on Tuesday because I'm not here. But obviously it's usually on a Tuesday or a Thursday. We tend to rotate them through, so obviously be on the Thursday with that particular one next week, so you can catch up with those. And obviously you go back through all the other shows as well and see exactly how that all went together and what Matt's been working on as well. Anyway, this week all started on Monday with part 8 of the dozer. So we were going through the sort of the motions on this one, as you can see. So literally getting the wash on. So to start off with normal sort of dark dirt wash going in, this is going to cause the sort of shadows in this one and the dark grime and things like that. As you can see, there it is all dried on. And then you can see it obviously on the front plate. And then we were just going around taking it all off. Different technique, you might not have seen it before, but I use the wash technique with this one. So instead of using a damp cloth and wiping it off, we're actually pushing it around with water and then rinse it off. So what this does is that if you've got lots of fine details, like we've got obviously on the roof here and pretty much all over this thing, if you try and get in here in a cloth, not only is it really going to be difficult to get in and out of all these little tiny details and stuff, but also you might end up knocking them off because some of them are very, very thin and very, very fragile. So obviously by literally rinsing it, so once it's dry, we just go over it with cold water and give it a little bit of a rub and then literally rinse off. And then we let it dry. There it is wet. And then once it's dried, it gives you that nice motley effect. And it is still around all the areas where we actually wanted it all over it. So that's a sort of new technique with it. And it's really, really good for getting around grills and tight little areas like all in here and stuff like that, where it's notoriously difficult to get a cloth in there, especially down in very, very fine details and that without damaging, like we were saying. So anyway, that's that one in there, as you can see, coming together. Then we gave it a flat coat right the way over. This is just in preparation obviously for moving on with the further weathering. So with that done and it's all flat done, we could actually replace the original clear windows, which we were using as a temporary mask, for the armoured glass windows. So as you can see, you get that blue hue with the armour glass ones from the clean. So literally, because it's still all a loose fit, we just whipped open the top, pulled open the panels, and then slipped in the new replacement glass. And then obviously for later on, it just weathers in. As you can see, that's the first stage of the weathering in there, just like that. So yeah, went along really, really nicely. So obviously you can catch up with that. That is part 8 for members. That is up on the site right now. So anyway, with that one done, then we moved over to Tuesday. I said before, where's the old mute button on this one? There it is. Oh, it's already muted. It's handy. You've got me and Matt, and obviously, usual thing, totally laid back show. Matt's obviously working on his P40. I said before, it's free to watch on these ones. So if you want to catch up and join us in live chat with that one, it is available on YouTube. And obviously, members, you've got it via our chat room as well. So we can see all of that. I was talking about different ways of filling very fine lines. So this particular way, I showed one side was sanding it, and this way is just using a Q-tip or a cotton bud with a little bit of thinners on it, and literally just blending it all in like that right the way through. So again, you can catch up with that one at any point this week. That is up with you. As I said, these shows normally every Tuesday. It's not this Tuesday because I'm actually away, but to replace that one, we will be doing it Thursday afternoon instead. All right, so still lots of stuff coming up along down in there. So if you want to catch up with those shows, please do join in and say it's all just be laid back, relaxed, having a little bit of fun and chatting on that particular one. Then we moved over, obviously, to the PM show on Wednesday. So the PM show, usual thing, free to watch everything that's going on at the PM store. So obviously, we're talking about the latest releases. Obviously, down in here, we've got the Hurricane. We've seen all the test shots, so we had a good look at those ones. Looks beautiful, like we were saying, because it's got raised dome riveting and the flush riveting right the way over this, plus all the other details. Looks really, really nice. And obviously, we were talking about the Wasp, which we really thought we weren't going to see, but obviously that is back in line as well for being a release shortly. So we got some test shots of that one as well and had a good look at that one. So if you're into your classic helicopters, we've got the Westland Wasp down in there as well. Plus the fact all the other deals, what's new going on in the industry, and obviously answering your questions and the pre-orders that are available with PM at the moment. So anyway, that was up on Wednesday. Every Wednesday is our PM show, just like that. Last night we had the live show. So again, we were just, winging it all the way through. So it's our usual full-on live show, members only for this particular one. Nathan's busy there working on a Spitfire. Andy was working on his Spitfire. Matt's working on a Black Hawk down in there. And John is down in there with his Avenger, I do believe. So yes, very nice again, right the way through. So if you want to follow along with that one, we all seem to be masking. So I did the live masking on that one during that particular show. And again, we had John down in here. He was masking up the Avenger. And then we had Andy was doing bits and pieces as well, as you can see. And we were having a good look around, answering your questions, all totally laid back. There's me looking at the mask, showing those off that I was thinking like wallpaper, but they're obviously very nice indeed. So anyway, if you want to catch up with that one, guys, you can do that right now. It's available for members. It's our members only Thursday night show. So you can catch up with that one just down in there. And that gets us up to today. So we got part 9 of the dozer. Again, we did the light weathering, if you like, using the dark wash. Then we went in with the heavy. So we did a little bit of polishing work because obviously we've got some metallizers underneath this paint. So we went through and rubbed those through. Got a little bit of the cat yellow showing through on the tracks as well. Then we just placed the decals, and luckily there's only 5 or 6, so that was nice and straightforward. We got those down in there. And then it was time to get in there with some serious weathering with the thick wash. So this is the new thick wash going into this one. And as you can see, it's thick and gooey, which is great. So the idea is you put it on nice and thick, you let it dry like normal, and then you've got various ways of taking this off. You can actually go through and chip through it, you can actually sand through it, or you can actually get water out and rehydrate it and rub it away just like the classic wash. But the great thing about this one is, say, when it dries on there, it's proper thick and gnarly, which is what we wanted, and it's got a little bit more bite, so it's a little bit more difficult to get off, which gives you better weathering effects for the heavy stuff. As you can see down there on the blade, that's just one coat of the thick stuff. It is just as thick as paint when this stuff goes on, so it's not really a wash. It's a lot thicker. Great thing with this though is we can scrape through it. So down in here we were showing scratching and chipping and flaking and stuff like that to give us that nice sort of metal worn look coming through off the blade. And as I say, down in there you can see some of the paint showing through. We've got some of the dark wash, and obviously we've got the actual thick wash down on this as well. So you can actually scratch right the way through this stuff to bring it all to life. And again, there it is showing through the sides, so forth and so on. So that's really all about your heavy weathering down on that one, just down in there like that. And that gets you pretty much to something like this. So here she is. It's had a little bit of pigments now, so it's lightened up a little bit. I've got to fix on, nothing's actually fixed on this at the moment. It's all a soft bit, but as you can see, that's the sort of weathering around the top now. We've got obviously a dust wash has gone on this one. We've got a little bit of pigment work down on this right the way through, just showing it all off just like that. As you say, you can't see any of the interior. It's properly buried in there. There's that front blade now, looking very much the part. Get the glare off the blade, you might be able to see it. There we go. So again, looking very much the part. Very happy how this has turned out, although it's extremely difficult to hold. As you can see, we've got some of this. We've got various pigments and bits and pieces all going on with this one as well. So again, we've still got a few little bits to do on this, but we've also put in the lights now. So all the headlights are in, and the tail lights and the lights up on the front and that. And it is literally pretty much all ready for mounting onto a base. So with that one done, what we're planning on doing with this is mounting it onto a little bit of a base around about this big. So I'm going to do a little, diorama type thing. We're thinking a little bit of a wall, some pile of rubble down in here, and then this little lump will then fit in just like that. So it will be in here like this. And that's how we're going to sort of display it on a nice little diorama base like this. But again, the last of the weathering will tie into what we're going over. So at the moment, this is sort of generic weathering on, but then as soon as we've got the base down and we've done the weathering for that, then we'll lift it up and we'll add to this a little bit as well. So again, I'm thinking more of a dusty scene rather than thick mud. So that's why with this particular one, we're going to be having it sort of dust and rubble, brick wall, Middle East type thing. And again, going in like that. But I must admit, I am absolutely having a ball. I've literally spent 3 days poking at it with a brush, as I call it, just doing washes and little bits and pieces and, little bits all over it, dust layers, things like that. And actually thoroughly enjoyed it. So having a lot of fun with that one. Just to answer the question, what's up after this one? Again, it's going to get a little bit technical throughout the summer. So I'm going to be working on the ICM Beaufort. I've got aftermarket stuff coming down for me next week for that one. So looking forward to getting hold of that and then cracking on with that. So that will start after this. And then we're at the same time as that, we're working on the giant 124 scale Sea Harrier. God help me. So if I don't go mad, kill myself with high blood pressure and all the rest of it, like last time I attempted a kit like this, hopefully it'll be a nice, gentle, relaxing summer build. Needless to say, first port of call is to completely fill all the details on that, rescribe, re-rivet, do everything to it. Got a couple of little aftermarket bits which have been custom made for me as well for this particular one, because there's not a lot available on the market. So thanks to everybody who's helping out with that one as well. So that should be a lot of fun. Again, got kit reviews coming in next week, various bits and pieces winging its way down to me. So yeah, we'll be catching up with all stuff like that. I said before, Monday and Tuesday, I'm not here. I'm away playing with a Lancaster. So anyway, I'll be back Wednesday. So we've got the PM show on Wednesday, and then obviously Thursday afternoon we've got our me and Matt's sort of chat show type thing going on there with our live build. So you can come and join with that, and then hopefully by Friday I'll get what I did on Monday and Tuesday edited together, and then obviously we can watch that next Friday as we make our way through, and then hopefully on the Saturday we're going to do another live show after that as well. So yeah, still plenty of things coming along, but no, really enjoying this one. This one's coming together really nicely. I think what I'm going to do now is bite the bullet and start to glue it all properly together, because say all this bar armor on the sides, all a loose fit. To be honest, the cab's not even glued down, the roof still is off, and all the front blade and that just at the moment is an easy fit to take off. So I think what I'm going to do is just pop in there with a little bit of glue, get those in, and then I can do the little glue marks with a little bit of pigment and washes as well, just to take care of those. But again, really nice. And as I say, nothing up on Monday or Tuesday because I'm not here to be able to do it. But what I will do is obviously next Friday you'll be finishing off this one as the completed model. Anyway, that's about it from there. So just to finish off, over at the PM store, usual things going on there. We've got obviously a new arrival section. Say there's a few bits and pieces happening. We've got the Hurricane. Got the Mark II-D, and that's the nice one with the big cannons on it and the trop filter and all the rest of it. And also this is the gorgeous Hurricane that I'm currently working on at the moment, plus the other bits and pieces which we've already spoken about are just down in there. And then obviously you've got the specials area. Again, we've got, unfortunately, all the Trumpeter Lightnings have sold out. As I say, we only had a couple of cartons of those ones and they've all gone now. So I have got one coming down for review, those for me. So we'll be having a proper look at that kit. I know it's an old classic kit, but we thought we'd have a look nevertheless. Usual bits and pieces just down in there. And then obviously, don't forget, we've got our damaged box area. So down in here, we've got the Hind. These are my review sample ones down in here, which then I put back up. And then all the other ones are just brand new seal, but maybe got a little bit of a damaged box, something like that. So again, a little bit of a discount down in there. Plus the fact we've got all your other bits and pieces, all your paints, your glues, your sundries, and everything else you could ever want is available just down in here. So pop along to pmmodelsuk.com and have a good look around just down in there, and you can see all your stuff. And that is about it for this week. As always on a Friday, I'm going to leave you with your great work from the gallery. So until Wednesday, everybody, happy modelling. Take care.
I was not ready to falling like I'm wasted. My heart grows heavy. Don't taste me rushing. Keep your words naked. You got me blushing. And you forever I'll follow. You'll be my holy ground. You forever I'll follow. In immortality, I can see you and me. You left me crying.